I love what I do. Right now, a 5-minute walk from where I'm standing, people are setting up for a run that we organize. Tomorrow, 5,000 people will put on their runners and walk or jog along Melbourne's beautiful bay to the city. 500 volunteers will cheer and support them. We have already raised $1.1 million. I love what I do. Every single participant will be wearing a t-shirt with our son's name on it. Connor's run. He actually hated running, but he ran once from our home to the city, training for rowing. I love what I do. We're raising money and awareness for pediatric brain cancer. It's the #1 disease killer of young people. Who knew? We didn't, but now we do. In the last 6 years, we have raised nearly $6 million in both Australia and the United States. We're American, but our family has lived down under for a long time. We're working hard to change the odds for these kids. Every child diagnosed is benefiting from better testing. More children have access to clinical trials. We're investing in young researchers. And we're forging important collaborations between Australia, the US, and the rest of the world. I love what I do. I just hate why I'm doing it. 6 years ago, our 18-year-old son Connor died from pediatric brain cancer. It sounds pretty bad, doesn't it? Lights out, show's over, the end. But the amazing thing is, he hasn't really died. Okay, yes, I know, technically he has, but in many ways, he hasn't. He's here, but he's not here. Do you know what I mean? He certainly feels alive inside of me, and I'm guessing tomorrow, 5,000 people will be feeling him too. We all have tough stuff that we have to get through. Everybody does. Your job, your relationships, your friends, your family. We all have it, and we all have to get through it. My example of losing my son is an extreme version, but we all have it. People rarely ask me why I'm doing what I do. I think that's pretty obvious. But they're very interested in my how. How have I started a foundation? Got young people involved, raised good money, helped families that have been affected by brain cancer. How have I done it? From Connor's last breath, I knew it couldn't be the end to his story. He had too much to offer. His unique personality, his outlook on life, his wonderful philosophy were powerful gifts that I knew people could benefit from. And more importantly, help inspire people to help us make a difference. I've refused to let Connor die. Instead, I'm using his spirit, his energy, to help us create positive events that are filled with joy and getting people involved and feeling great. He lives on in extraordinary ways, and in doing so, has changed me profoundly. But how? How am I doing it? Well, I've had to find a way, and to be honest, I'm finding my way every single day. But reflecting, looking back and thinking about it, I'm using 3 tools, and I'm using them all the time. I'm reframing, I'm reimagining, and I'm reaffirming my way forward. I purposely have I've added the ing to show you that it's fluid, it's moving, it's constant, it's not changing. These tools have really helped me, and I believe that they can help you too. And once you get started, once you start thinking about reframing, reimagining, reaffirming, They can help you through your tough stuff. We all have it. I'm now applying these to my worst case scenario. Yes, our son has died, but I'm not letting it define our story. Who Connor was is who I am. And why should I let it? There's a lot of life to be lived and a lot of good to be done. I'd like to share with you a few stories illustrating each one of these. Reframing. A few weeks before Connor died, he had lost his ability to walk or talk. He needed help with everything. Watching our beautiful son, brother, friend deteriorate before our eyes was excruciating. It was beyond cruel. I was scared. I was very scared. During this time, people were often leaving notes and food or flowers at our door almost on a daily basis. And on this day, I walked up to our door and there was a bouquet of flowers. And I leaned down, picked up the bouquet, I looked at the note, and it said this: "Be fearless, Liz." It stopped me in my tracks. It was powerful. I had no idea who it came from, and it was telling me to be fearless. When inside, I was thinking, how can I be fearless when I am so scared, when the absolute worst thing is about to happen to our son? But as I looked at that note, and I looked again and again, I felt something within me stir, something stronger than me, a voice telling me that yes, I could face what was happening, I could be strong, and that I needed to be. And as I got through the next few weeks, the day Connor died, the days, weeks, months, years after, this note has stayed with me, reminding me that I am stronger than I think I am. You, here in the audience, are stronger than you think you are. Do I still have things that I'm sad about, worried about, scared about? Of course. But I've realized that if I can conquer my greatest fear, being scared, I can reframe my way forward and apply it to any situation. I use this note, and it stays with me as I find my way forward through it all the time. Reimagining. When Connor was diagnosed, his friends at school wanted to hold a fundraiser for him. And he loved Latin. He was that kind of kid. The history and the language behind it was something he just loved. So when the boys approached us and wanted to sell t-shirts and wristbands, we thought Latin should feature. So we brainstormed with Connor, and we came up with the phrase, "Aeternum fortis," eternal strength. It felt perfect. Connor wanted to study in the US, and the day before his surgery, he was invited to attend Stanford University's summer school program. I know, how cool is that? He also wanted to row there, and had begun talks with the coach. Naturally, after his surgery, all that changed. We emailed the coach, told him what had happened. His crew got behind Connor, sent him notes of well wishes, and we sent the coach one of the t-shirts that the school had made. And then we found out something extraordinary. On the day Connor died, the Stanford rowing crew was rowing in a regatta, and they had their own version of the Aeternum Fortis t-shirt made with Connor's initials. Was that just a coincidence? Or was it something more? Let me reiterate. Halfway around the world, 8 young men in a boat were living his dream. They would never meet him, and yet, as his life ended, he was there with them in the boat. He had inspired them, and that in turn inspired me. Isn't that a little magical? I decided to believe it was. My energy for the future could so easily have been extinguished with the loss of my son. As his mom, all my aspirations for him were snatched away. And yet, there it was, a sign. The Stanford rowing story, once Connor's dream, became a spark for me. It ignited my hope to start our foundation and to reimagine Connor, still very much a part of my life, living on as a powerful catalyst for good. There is magic all around, but you have to believe in it. You have to lean into it. It's there. You just have to see it. Reaffirming. When Connor, after his surgery, he lost his short-term memory and his right side movement. Both were catastrophic losses. He was always bright. His brain had always defined him. But now it did in a way that we wished it hadn't. During this time, he was having yoga, and his yoga teacher was patient and kind. After he passed away, she asked me if she could relay a story. And she said to me that a few months before Connor died, they were doing yoga, and she was leading him through an affirmation. And she said, Connor, I want you to think of something positive, something starting with I will. It can be anything you want it to be. You can say it to yourself, you can share it with me, but it needs to start with I will. Connor looked at her and without hesitating said, I will be awesome. Why did he say that? He knew he was dying. And what he came up with was, I will be awesome? How did he know that he would be, that he is? Connor taught me a powerful lesson of conviction. When we commit to something, it often happens. Not maybe perfectly or always or without setbacks. But if we commit, it's a start. I have my own I wills, and I commit to them every day. I will not let death win. If I did, I'd still be lying on my sofa asking why. Connor would have gone with his last breath. I will be positive, creative, fun. This works for me. I operate better like this. I love new ideas, and I love inspiring people to get involved with us. I will never stop. Running our foundation is my life. It doesn't feel like work to me, but exactly what I want to be doing. Tomorrow, 5,000 people will have a chance to write their own I wills on their race bibs. This is my favorite part of our event. What's your I will? Remember, you can be in charge of your own awesomeness. I love what I do. I really do. Do I still have tough stuff to deal with? Am I scared, overwhelmed, nervous, sad at times? Yes, of course. Pretty much every day. But I remember that note telling me to be fearless. And I listen to the voice inside of me, reminding me to reframe how I'm feeling and move forward. I look for magic all around, and I'm finding it in abundance. Reimagining what I do has given me creative solutions to so much of what we do. We're still involved with the Stanford rowing team. Every year they have Connor's Herb. It's a virtual rowing event between them and several other U.S. colleges. Connor's Aeternum Fortis lives on. Every single day, I am reaffirming that I'm making a difference for other young people with brain cancer. in a way that feels genuine, quirky, unique, smart. In other words, a lot like Connor. Every single day, I'm reaffirming to make a difference for these people. I love what I do. I really do. I just hate why I'm doing it. Thank you.